Hello again. There can be no doubt at all that in the 15th and 16th centuries there were some black Africans in Europe, including the British Isles. The exploration of the Americas and exploitation of Africa both took off during the early 16th century. The export of slaves from Africa became very big business in Portugal at this time. By 1540, somewhere in the region of 12,000 slaves a year were being brought to Portugal. Most of these slaves stayed for a short while and were then exported. Portugal was an exception, though. There were very few Africans to be found elsewhere, and those who were almost invariably either servants or slaves. We know this from both written sources and, of course, because of paintings of street scenes, people at court and so on. You can see one of these in the thumbnail to this video. It shows a black boy who is evidently a groom or something. However, when films are now made of this time, black people are invariably shown as being major characters, noblemen and so on, and the number of black people in the average 15th century European town is shown as being roughly the same proportion as you would expect in a modern British or American town. This gives a weird and anachronistic feel to such productions because we are aware that an overt and obvious political agenda is at work. This kind of thing having grown tremendously since the Black Lives Matter disturbances 4.5 years ago. What is interesting is that black people were being portrayed in films set in this period made 50 or 60 years ago, but that they were shown more accurately as being few and far between and generally holding menial or unimportant posts or positions. This is a realistic portrayal, but not satisfactory to the modern world. Take the film of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, made in 1968 and starring Olivia Hussey, who recently died. In the description to this video, I give a clip of a scene from the film which is set at a banquet. This is supposedly in the Italian town of Verona in the late 15th or early 16th century. If you watch that clip, then right at the very beginning you will catch a glimpse of a black guy on the left. Blink and you'll miss him. This is, from all the evidence, what the situation was really like at that time in Europe. There are pictures painted then which show similar scenes, and one or two of them do indeed show a single black person in the background, just as in the film. Of course, Romeo and Juliet is a work of fiction, and so from that point of view, I suppose it could be argued that one might as well have Juliet played by a black woman, as has indeed happened recently. But then by that argument, you might as well have her played by a Chinese woman, a robot, or even a cat. Because if it's fiction, then why bother at any pretense at all at realism? I cannot help but feel that when watching a dramatic production set during that period, though, I would prefer to see a slightly more authentic cast and scenery, which might help me to persuade myself that I am really watching something set at that time. Having black noblemen and so on rather destroys the illusion and reminds us that this is really a modern day effort being made for political purposes. Some of us hope to lose ourselves in plays and films and forget about the modern world for a while.